my name is Aimee Jones, and I am the Director of Communications for the Real Chamber of Commerce. Today, I have the pleasure to interview an entrepreneur with extensive experience in what it takes to create a successful business and the knowledge of the importance to pass pro-business legislation. He is the CEO of Washoe Douglas Analytics. He was the previous CFO and Chief Compliance Officer for the first fully reporting, publicly traded marijuana company to be listed on a U.S. exchange. He served as the senior appointee to the Nevada State Controller's Office. He also was a participant on the Governmental Accounting Standards Board. He was the policy director for assembly leadership in the Nevada legislature. And beyond all of this, he spent a decade as director of research and legislative affairs at the Nevada Policy Research Institute. Geoff Lawrence. How you doing, Geoff?
Good. How are you, Aimee?
Good. I think that's about the longest intro that I've done, but the most impressive as well.
Oh, well, you made me. I got tired just by listening to it.
So tell us a little bit about this company that you created, Washoe Douglas Analytics. How did you get into creating it to begin with?
Well, I had gotten to the point with, I was overseeing the accounting and public reporting for the company that I worked for previously, and
Sure.
I realized that, with marijuana especially being kind of a burgeoning sector and not a lot of accountants who specialize in that field, that there was a huge opportunity that I could actually go out and contract with a bunch of different companies who need that kind of service. And so I've been pretty busy so far, actually, and we've only been up and running for a few months.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Where did you come up with the name Washoe Analytics or Washoe Douglas Analytics?
Washoe and Douglas counties are, two of the 17 counties here in Nevada. My wife and I used to live up in Douglas County for a while when I worked for the state. And it was just became kind of an inside joke between her and I to say Washoe Douglas all the time. And then when we went to form a company, we said, no, we should just call it Washoe Douglas.
That makes tons of sense. What makes Washoe Douglas Analytics unique, different from other consulting firms? Because there's so many others out there. So what makes you guys different?
Right. So, we offer primarily accounting services, not just bookkeeping, but, a compilation of financial statements and things like that. Also, improving your internal control process, inventory management, which is something a lot of marijuana companies especially struggle with, since there's not much software out there to really help you out. That really sets us apart because there are only a few people that have extensive experience in the marijuana industry, being as new as it is.
Sure. So I get you guys focus a lot on the marijuana industry. Is there any other areas that you focus on?
Right. So, having been an accountant, been kind of the chief accountant at the state level, I understand a lot of different stuff. I'm not haven't necessarily restricted myself to that marijuana realm. It seems to have been our fastest niche. But, we can do basic accounting for pretty much anyone.
Sure. Okay, and so like I said earlier, reading your intro, so to say, you have a lot of experience working with the legislature and have your hands quite a bit in, or have had your hands quite a bit in politics. Tell us, how did you get into politics to begin with?
Oh, it's kind of a funny story. So when I first went to college, I got a bachelor's in political science. I realized that unless I was going to teach high school, I really didn't do anything. So, so I went to grad school, and then I studied economics. I went back and I studied accounting. But kind of through all of that, I started off interning at a few think tanks that eventually brought me to a job in North Carolina, and then went out here in Nevada, where I was working for the Nevada Policy Research Institute, and I was involved at the state level. And that's been helpful because accountants generally have to know something about the law, but also if you're going to play in the marijuana space, then there's a big compliance component.
Sure.
So helping people navigate that part of it is just as valuable as the accounting side.
Sure. So is it safe to say you're fiscally a conservative?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. I would get that from you being a part of MPRI. So.
Oh yeah, I've always been a libertarian. So.
Okay, good. And another question I have too: do you plan on staying in the political realm, or is that something that, or are you planning on focusing on building your business and strictly being an entrepreneur?
I'm planning to do both, actually. And I think you have to do both in order to be successful.
Sure.
Because you'll just get trampled if you're not involved in the legislative process. So I've. Through Washoe Douglas, actually, I've contracted. I'm doing some side work with the Reason Foundation, and I'll be doing some writing and analysis for them. And they're heavily engaged in not just Nevada, but several states, especially in the West.
So are you restricted just to working in Nevada, or is this a nationwide thing? What is your geographically?
Right. So we have no boundaries per se.
Sure.
We're from Nevada. I love Nevada, but I am working significantly in California right now, and expect to work mainly across the West, but maybe involved in some eastern states too. So there's no boundaries really, and the internet makes it easy to work remotely. And if I have to do a site visit for a few days, it's pretty easy to manage.
Let me ask you, do you have any difficulty working in California? Because I think being a fiscal conservative and pro-business, we all know that California isn't exactly that. So does that cause any problems for your business, or?
Well, not yet, but it's been really surprising to me, having been in Nevada for 10 years, where we constantly look across the border and say, God, they're doing so many things wrong over
Sure.
there. And it's the reason why we have so many immigrants all the time, because we have these California tax refugees coming here, and that's who Nevadans are primarily.
Right.
So it's been surprising to me that California would become somewhat of a land of opportunity, but it's worked out that way, so great.
Okay, well, that's good for you. So lastly, let me ask you, how'd you get involved with the Real Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I got involved with the Real Chamber primarily, through a lot of different ways. One is I've been pretty disappointed with the Las Vegas Metro Chamber and their position on various tax proposals and things like that. But then, having gotten to know you and your husband Brent, we've been friends for a while, and I like what you guys have done with the Real Chamber. I've been to several events, and I just wanted to be able to support it through my company as well.
Well, great. We appreciate that. And just so everybody understands, so do you feel like the Chamber is going to be beneficial to helping businesses and actually supporting them versus going up and lobbying for a big tax increase?
Well, you guys seem to be the only chamber out there that's willing to take a stand against tax proposals.
Sure.
And that's what a business is supposed to want.
Right. Totally hear you. Well, thank you. We appreciate the support, Geoff.
Oh, thanks.
So why don't you tell everybody where they can get in touch with you if they need to use your services at Washout Douglas Analytics?
So the easiest way to get in touch with me is either to call my cell. It's 202-459-7887. You'll have to forgive the D.C. area code. I used to live there. I've kept the number for a long time. Also, my email address is Geoffrey, that's Geoffrey, at wdanalytics.com.
Well, thanks, Geoff. It was great having you on.
Thank you.
This is Aimee Jones with the Real Chamber of Commerce.
She is the most fascinating woman in the world. In her presence, wild animals display intelligent talents. Elvis impersonators impersonate her. The king of the jungle bows at her feet.
I always drink water, and when I do, I fancy real water.
Stay hydrated, my friends.